All right, welcome back to Sports Radio 94 WIP. God, it feels good to say that again. It's been quite a while. So I'm Vince Quinn with you, and joining me to talk a little bit about the Phillies. He's a up-and-comer in this industry, and he also does some work at KYW for us. So he's part of the family. Francisco Rojas, also a part of Last Out Media. What's up, Francisco?
Hey, Vince. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. It's baseball season, it's crazy to think that we've actually got baseball games going on right now, but there's real baseball. They're in Florida. It's a nice relief. So for the Phillies getting going here and playing a little bit, what have you seen so far?
I've seen a lot of good things. A lot of good things. There's been a lot of questions about what's the bullpen going to look like this year. What's center field going to look like this year, because we don't have a solidified center fielder yet. You have the whole story with Odubel Herrera. He just hit a home run today. He's looked pretty good, in spring training so far. You have Mickey Moniak, who just hit 2 home runs today. And, although people last year were saying, oh, this guy might be a bust, here he is, spring training. He's looking good, and Joe Girardi just said today that it might not be just a competition between Roman Quinn, Hazley, Kingery, Odubel, but now Moniak is he's considered to be a part of that competition. So there's that, and then you have this whole, I don't want to say it's a revamped bullpen, but it can't get worse than it was last year. Literally, one of the bottom 5 bullpens of all time. But you know what? Quietly, the Phillies have made some solid acquisitions. They got Kinsler from Florida on a minor league deal, as well as Tony Watson, who as well as on a minor league deal as well. And Watson has a 2.8. Career ERA, and to get these guys on minor league deals, I think that's a steal. And plus, you're bringing Archie Bradley, and maybe Jose Alvarado is a good arm out of the pen as well. So you know what? As much as I've kind of been down on the Phils, even though they're in a loaded division, I'm kind of optimistic. I'm excited for the season.
This is spring training. This is exactly what happens every single year. It's all right, I'm going to get excited.
100%.
And everybody around the league is doing this. This isn't just here. This isn't just you. We all do it. We're like, oh, well, it's the preseason. It's spring training. Maybe we're going to win it all this year. So you talk yourself into anything. But let me ask you this, okay? One, let's start with center field here. On a totally selfish level, I want, in the mindset of Francisco Rojas, who would you want to see start at center field for the Phils?
Oh, my God. I would love it's, even though they want him to, they gave Kingery, that contract, 3 years ago now, and they expected him to eventually be that starting second baseman. I think he was getting a lot of Utley comparisons, and, he was this highly touted prospect. I wouldn't mind seeing him blossom into that center field role, because, a couple of years ago, he didn't have a terrible year. Now, he kind of did dip off in 19 in the second half of the year, but we know the potential that Kingery has, and I would like to see Kingery to settle into a position, because he's been all over the infield and the outfield, and, just for Kingery kind of to, just to solidify himself a little bit in the majors, because he hasn't really done that yet. So, for me, I'm going to say Scott Kingery, even though they might want him eventually to be that second baseman. I'd like it to be Kingery.
Yeah, I think in part due to the Utley comparisons, people do want to see him at second base just because they're so thirsty for it. The ability to just be like, oh, he looks like Utley out there. I think people just have that sort of energy. So there's all this hope with Kingery. But yeah, if he's got to play center field and that's what he's going to be doing to contribute, that's fine. You just want guys that can be out there and play that are young. And that's one of the other things, too, is looking at this team this year, for the youth element of this, right? Who are the young guys? Who are the newer names that you're looking forward to this season?
So I mentioned a few of them earlier, but Brandon Kinsler from Miami. He, like I said, they got him on a minor league contract. He can be. I mean, I believe he was somewhere in the top 5 in the National League in saves last year. He could really be a good bullpen piece for the Phillies. Archie Bradley, I think fans are really gravitating towards personality, and he's a really good pitcher. But I'm trying to think of who else. Who else are we freaking here that's a young?
Well,
Moniak,
that's the thing, right? Like
Moniak, yeah.
Spencer Howard, you think about him, right? So
Yes,
Spencer Howard,
yes,
I would say like JoJo Romero is up in my mind just because the whole like let me slam this Red Bull can that just made him a legend all of a sudden.
Of course.
So yeah, is he going to be any good this year? Is there a reason to have expectations for JoJo Romero?
I don't know too much about JoJo Romero. I could tell you that he's definitely a confident guy. We see it.
Okay.
With the especially coming out, he's got his own little thing going with with smashing the Red Bull cans, which I think fans love and I love too. Spencer Howard, he's a preparation guy, and last year, not to make excuses for the kid, but coming up in the majors is hard, and being a top prospect, coming, all the expectations that come with that. From what I've read, he's a big preparation guy, and last year with COVID, and I don't know if he got COVID or something happened. He got a false positive once or twice. He wasn't right mentally, and for a young player that's coming up in the majors, like that's everything. Like to come up, to mentally settle in the majors is huge, and it's going to be interesting this year because. Now Spence is going to have a full season. Now, whether he does or does not make the major league roster, I don't know. But I think eventually he'll, get a shot this year, whether he's, the fourth or fifth guy, in that rotation, which there are question marks for both of those spots in the rotation. I would love to see Spence show a little potential this year because last year we didn't really see it. I mean, his velocity was down, and he was inconsistent. He got hurt. Spencer Howard's. I would love to see him, really, really show something this year.
All right. Well, there you have it from Francisco Rojas, part of Last Out Media and part of KYW as well. Francisco, thanks so much, man.
Thanks so much, Vince. Always a pleasure talking to you.